some NHL contracts are bad, and then there are some that absolutely kill your team. In some teams, you have to add on a first, a second, or more just to get rid of those contracts. Last week, we did the best contracts in the NHL, which was awesome, praising a lot of these contracts and the GMs that make them. But let's have some more fun and just shit on these absolutely horrible deals that have screwed these teams. And I mean, good on these players for making a buttload of fucking money, but now they're screwing their teams. Let's get into the 10 worst contracts, in my opinion, in the NHL. Quick disclaimer, this is not of total contract. This is what's the value and what's left of the contract. There's some terrible contracts, but now they're nearing the tail end of the deal, so not nearly as bad. But so right now, the contracts are what's left of them. Let's get into it. Comment, like, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Let's get into it. Let's do some honorable mentions first. One is Pierre Engvall. I honestly completely forgot about this guy until research doing this segment. But, I mean, 4 more years at $3 million AAV. It was originally a 7-year deal at $3 million AAV. I mean, he's going to be 34 years old at the end of it. He's sitting down in the minors. Honorable mention because it's only $3 million. A few more years left. Manageable. Another one, Aaron Ekblad. He easily could be in this top 10 list, but it's still very early on. $6 million. Down year, but the entire team had a down year. So I expect him to be better next year, but he's on the watch list. And then Neil Pionk, kind of similar thing. He's been a great number 2 to Morrissey, but he had 12 points this past year. I mean, Winnipeg just sucked in general. Morrissey was out for a while, and he could not pick up the pace. So right now he's an honorable mention, but again, he's on the watch list. But now let's get into the top 10. At number 10, Toronto Maple Leaf legend and one of the best snipers in the NHL, Cody Ceci. Every time I hear Cody Ceci, I think of him missing the net by at least a fucking kilometer. 3 more years at $4.5 million. He signed this last summer, 4 times 4.5. He's gonna be 35 years old at the end of it. It's an absolute liability. He's a great locker room guy, but he is so fucking bad. It's bad from the start. He had 9 points this year in 80-something games and is a -10. Just an absolute brutal contract. Next, I have Chandler Stevenson, a key piece into the Vegas Stanley Cup run a few years back, where I think he had almost 20 points. He's also part of the Washington Stanley Cup. He has 5 more years at 6.25. He signed a 7-year deal a few years back. He's just an average 40 to 50 point winger. He has some skill left. He's going to be 37 at the end of the deal. It's not awful, but 5 more years. I mean, Seattle's not in too much of a cap crunch, but it's going to be a hard contract to get rid of if they start to come good, and he's just not worth the price. Next up, we have my boy, Toronto Maple Leaf legend Morgan Rielly. I love him to death, but this contract is just horrible, and the Leafs may have to add in a first rounder or a prospect just to get rid of him this summer, and there's no move clause, so he can say fuck off. He has 4 more years at $7.5 million. He signed an 8 by 7.5 year deal a few years back. He's going to be 36 by the end of the deal. And he can still get you 35-ish points every year, maybe man a power play or a second unit if you have a younger team. But his defense is horrendous, and he's a -26 for the last 2 years. So, yeah, not a good deal. Except we have Petey, and Petey could definitely be higher on this list. But I still have faith in Petey. It's just when you really look at it, 6 more years at 11.6 for 45, 50 points. Centerman is not good, but he had 100 points, and next year he had like 89, 90, and the team just went to shit. Visually, I actually still think he looks all right, but the team is just so bad. He'll be 33 at the end. Again, he's only 26, 27, so he could definitely be higher on this list. But right now, we're going to keep him where he is at 7, and we'll see where it goes from here. But 6 more years at 11.6, this deal could end up being very, very good. At number 6, we have Trent Frederic. This deal at the beginning just looked terrible, and I don't think anyone thought this was a steal. And I thought Edmonton probably thought they're like, oh, fuck yeah, we're hacking the system with this 8-year deal. But they just look like fucking morons. Trent Frederic, 7 more years at 3.85, 7 points, and it was a -15 this year for 7 more years. I think he only had like 1 or 2 goals. 7 more years. I understand the AAV is going to kill you, but it's not great because most teams kind of, they play right up till the cap, right? So not a lot. The best teams in the league don't have 20 million extra in cap space, right? So this contract could be a killer. And, yeah, not the smartest move. At number 6, this one may become of a shock. Brady Shea, you know what? He's still 33 and 26 points the last few years. I think the boys love him in the locker room, but 5 more years at $7 million. He's going to be 37 at the end of the deal. He's a -31 total in Nashville. Just not the best. If it was a few more years, I would say it's not as bad, but 5 more years at $7 million, just not the greatest. Now we're getting to nitty gritty. At number 4, we have Ryan Graves. He was looking really good on Colorado, moved to New Jersey, and then he signed this just odd fucking deal in Pittsburgh. It was a 6-year, $4.5 million AAV, $27 million total. He'll be 34 at the end of it. He has 3 more years left at 4.5. And he has been so bad ever since I've stepped into Pittsburgh. He's now in the minors. Yeah, putting up points in the minors. Fucking congrats. Just an absolute horrendous deal for you. You're paying a guy almost $5 million a year to play in the minors. Number 3, another recent deal, and it's Ivan Provorov. Definitely a shock. We talked on the podcast when it came out. He has 6 more years at $8.5 million AAV. It was originally 7 years at 8.5, almost a $60 million deal. He'll be 35 at the end of it. It's just not good. Columbus isn't in too much of a cap hell right now, but they have to sign Fantilli and some other guys soon. 8.5 for a 30-point D-man. He is a competitor and he's an incredible athlete, but 8.5 for 6 more years for a 30-point D-man on a just an average team is just not what you want. Now these final 2 are very obvious, and you can tell in the thumbnail these ones are gonna be fun to do. Darnell Nurse. He's not a bad defenseman. Like if he had a $4 or $5 million price tag, we probably wouldn't be doing this video. Probably wouldn't be talking about him. His name wouldn't be out there as much of a fucking laughing stock. But it is, because he's making 9.25, and good for him. But he's 4 more years at that value. He signed an 8-year, $74 million deal. He's gonna be 35 at the end of this deal. And just hit 104 penalty minutes this year. He's a minus 12, 24 points. He's a 25, 30-point defenseman. But he's just so dumb in the defensive zone. He makes dumb mistakes. He thinks he's better than he is. He's tough as shit, I'll give you that. He actually is a very good skater. But 9.25 is just laughable. But at the end of the day, he's making almost 80 sheets. Good for him, but he sucks. And last but not least, this shouldn't be no surprise, Jonathan Huberdeau. He went from potential league MVP to just laughing stock in Calgary. He has 5 more years at $10.5 million. He signed a $84 million deal a few years back. He has 5 more years. He's going to be 38 at the end of this deal. He went from 115 points to 55 and is now a 50-point winger. With last year's, he had 25 points in 50 games this year. Year prior, yes, he had almost 30 goals, but he still only had like 60 points. Okay, let's see how Calgary gets younger, and maybe they can develop a bit more. And he just got worse. I mean, Calgary was horrible, but 25 points, 50 games for a $10.5 million winger who was on a President's Trophy team. Florida made the right choice. I mean, he's a $100 millionaire, almost good for him, but he stinks now, and too bad, so sad for Calgary. There are a lot of bad contracts in the league, but these ones, they're just hurting teams right now. How do they go wrong? Most of these actually, from the beginning, I think a lot of people are like, what the fuck? And we're no experts, but at some of these deals, even from the start, we could have told GMs you're a fucking idiot. But that's it. Please go comment, like, subscribe. Go check out the Buds Mafia podcast on YouTube and Spotify. Go check out our last few videos. I usually drop these type of videos on Mondays. Go check out my top 10 5 worst calls in NHL history, best contracts, and yada, yada, yada. Buzz Mafia podcast episodes drop weekly on Wednesdays, and you can see the clips from the podcast on Instagram, X, and TikTok at Buds and Pucks. But yeah, go comment, like, subscribe, and thank you for watching.
Tavares coming out, sends it in a goal. They score! They score! Holy mackerel, they score! Morgan Rielly! Mo Rielly! The Leafs have won it! They're going to the second round!
Gonna run for it, he got it! And there he goes! Inside the 10, the 5! Oh, the play of the year in the